Why does a person who does not want you feel like a drug you cannot quit? It is not just a crush. Your brain is actually misinterpreting their rejection as a literal threat to your survival. Today, we dive into the neural obsession that transforms a psychological void into a relentless physiological craving. Now, what we're going to see as we unpack this explainer is that you literally cannot just reason your way out of this situation. I mean, it's not a logic problem. Your brain is running a highly specific and, frankly, highly stubborn biological program. Section 1. The dopamine trap. Intermittent reinforcement and the power of maybe. Okay, let's dive into this, because when you're dealing with unrequited love, you are absolutely caught in a neurochemical snare. To really grasp this trap, we need to look at a behavioral psychology principle called intermittent reinforcement. Now think about a normal reward system, right? If a reward arrives every single time you do something, your brain eventually gets used to it. The dopamine response actually weakens over time because the outcome is totally predictable. But when a reward arrives unpredictably, sometimes yes, sometimes no, with absolutely zero reliable pattern, your brain's dopamine system doesn't shut down. It actually intensifies. It goes into overdrive. This is the exact same underlying mechanism that makes a slot machine so incredibly addictive. And it's what's operating in your brain when you pursue someone whose interest in you is inconsistent. Think about it like this. A clear no from someone actually lets your dopamine system disengage. It's final. The brain gets the message, accepts it, and starts moving on. But the maybe, that person who is super warm one day and completely distant the next, that produces a dangerously addictive neurochemical response that is literally far more powerful than consistent, reliable affection could ever be. They're giving you just enough attention to keep the hope alive, but they never quite confirm it. And so your brain just gets locked in, desperately chasing that next unpredictable hit. Section 2, Frustration Attraction Effect. Why obstacles breed obsession. So this brings us to a really fascinating point about what happens when a major psychological goal, like winning over that specific person, is suddenly blocked. It leads us to a genuinely counterintuitive question. Why does rejection actually increase desire? People report all the time that they want someone so much more intensely after being rejected than they did before the rejection even happened. So why on earth does hearing the word no make the craving that much worse? The answer is a massive mismatch between logic and biology. Look, logically, rejection should decrease desire, right? If a door is locked, you should just stop trying to open it. But the brain's reality is a whole different story. When a goal your brain deems significant gets blocked, it does not just abandon the pursuit. Instead, it treats the obstacle as a signal that the goal just requires more resources. It cranks up your motivational drive. It creates this highly elevated state of arousal driven entirely by frustration. But here's the crazy part. Your brain actually misattributes that heightened arousal. It doesn't say, oh, I'm just frustrated. It mistakenly labels all that intense nervous energy as an overwhelming desire for the person. Literally, your own brain is tricking you into believing that their rejection makes them more valuable. Section 3. Rejection as physical pain. The brain's threat detection system. This is where rejection stops being just a sad, disappointing emotional experience and turns into something your nervous system treats as a genuine physical danger. Functional brain imaging studies have shown us something absolutely mind-blowing. Social rejection activates the exact same regions of your brain that respond to physical pain. Literally, the same neural pathways that light up when you break a leg light up when you get romantically rejected. And to understand why, we've got to look back in time. For early humans, social exclusion from the group wasn't just a bummer, it had massive survival consequences. Being rejected by the tribe meant literal death out in the wild. The problem is, our modern brains are running on severely outdated software. They haven't updated this threat response for today's world. Today, being rejected by a romantic interest carries zero actual survival threat. But your brain still responds as though a saber-toothed tiger is chasing you out of the cave. This evolutionary glitch is exactly why unrequited love causes such extreme symptoms. The endless rumination, the sleepless nights, that crazy irrational sense of urgency. Your brain literally thinks you are dying. Section 4. The high-stakes gamble. Stable connection versus unrequited pursuit. Let's just slow down for a second here. Let's ground ourselves and contrast this chaotic, unrequited pursuit with what actually happens in the brain during a healthy, reciprocated connection. And this brilliantly illustrates the massive difference. In a stable relationship, over time, your nervous system actually settles into a baseline state of security. The dopamine response to your partner is still there, of course, but it stabilizes. It beautifully integrates with other neurochemicals that promote attachment and a deep sense of calm. But an unrequited pursuit never, ever allows that settling to happen. Every single interaction is a high-stakes gamble. Will today be the day they text back? Will today be the day they finally get it? That perpetual, exhausting uncertainty keeps both your dopamine and your stress systems constantly activated at the exact same time. It doesn't look like healthy attachment at all. It completely mimics the neurochemistry of a substance addiction. Section 5, Mechanism over Meaning. Breaking the cycle. Now look, I know that just understanding the science doesn't magically erase the pain in the moment. When you're in the thick of it, it hurts a lot. But understanding this mechanism is absolutely crucial because it clarifies something profound, and it gives us the roadmap to break the cycle. The obsession you're caught in right now is not cosmic proof that this specific person is uniquely irreplaceable. It's not the universe telling you it's meant to be. First of all, it's just your neurochemistry responding predictably to a pattern of inconsistent reward. Second, it's a primal threat response being completely misapplied to modern dating. And third, and this is the biggest takeaway, the exit strategy from this pain is never found by trying harder to win them over. The only true exit is reframing your entire perspective on what you're actually feeling. You have to realize that your suffering is just outdated brain circuitry running its course. So I want to leave you with this final thought, and it's one you really need to internalize. The intensity of the craving is information about the mechanism, not information about the person.